Hello, welcome back to the 31 Days of Halloween.
Hi.
We just filmed the first urban legend video, which if you want to go watch it, it is the South Dakota Urban Legends. It was Carly's pick.
South Dakota.
And that was a warm-up because we were a little rusty. But we could not read to save our lives. But
as per usual.
I think we're going to do a little bit better this video. There's not a lot of big words. Maybe. We'll see.
Maybe.
It is Hawaiian Urban Legends, but before I get into the video, I got an email from my friend Mike from Canada, and he has another bad decision that he that he is going to share. I haven't read it to Carly yet, but he texted me about it a couple days ago, and I said you should totally email that to me so I can read it. It says, "Hey Abby, so you've heard the old expression, saved by the bell, right? Well, this morning I was embarrassed by the bell. Confused? Let me explain. This morning we had a Bell technician. Bell is our local phone, TV, internet service provider for those who don't live in Canada. He was installing a security camera on our shop. While he was working, I was talking to Jesse, one of our employees. I was standing facing a wall while washing coffee cups in the sink. Jesse left to go do something, but 5 minutes later I heard the door and then someone walk up the stairs. I don't know what the hell I was thinking, but I just picked up where our conversation left off and started talking, assuming it was Jesse. Until I happened to glance over and notice it was the Bell technician staring at me. So I just froze because what the hell do you do in a situation like this? All I could manage was a stammered, oops, sorry about that. The Bell guy laughed and goes, bah, that's okay, man. It's all good. And went back to his work, leaving me absolutely traumatized. So for most of the day, I sat around drinking coffee because clearly my brain wasn't going to function like a human that day. Note to self, look before opening your mouth, LOL.
I got a foot cramp in the middle of that. Ow. I'm dying. Yeah, I would have probably just went, I'm gonna go back to bed now.
You would have been like, peace out, I'm done.
I'm leaving.
See, the thing with me is you can't embarrass me. Like, I could be doing something totally outrageous and I would have laughed so hard I would have kept going with it.
I would have left. I'm like, nope. I've had enough.
I haven't really had any bad decisions lately except for the fact that we're going to dye my hair after this. That might be a bad decision. That's a color I've never done before. So check out that video whenever it's up. We're actually going to film a Q&A. What?
Nothing. I was just looking at you.
You looked really scared, and it scared me. Like, you looked panicked. You looked really scared.
No, I was just looking at you. I was being a normal human and trying to... I'm listening.
We went to Target a couple weeks ago, and as we were leaving town, I was driving, and I was telling a story, and she was, like, getting out her soda and, like, putting her phone somewhere, and she, like, just turns and looks at me and goes... just stares at me, and I was like, what? And she was like, oh, I'm just trying to let you know that, like, I'm still listening to your story, like, I'm still engaged. And I was like, don't ever do that again. I knew you were still listening.
It's because if I don't make eye contact with my dad while he's talking, he'll go, fine, whatever, never mind. And then he'll stop talking, and I'm like, I'm listening.
And I'm the exact opposite. Like, Jordan yells at me about this all the time. I'll be like texting on the computer, doing something else as he's talking, and he's like, you're not even listening to me. And I'm like, I am. Like, I can do two things at once. I can listen and do something. I know sometimes I can't, but I can. And so she's like, makes eye contact with me, and I was like, don't do that.
I was doing something and I looked at her and she was like, what? I was like, nothing.
And now let's get into reading some urban legends. These are from Hawaii, and I love Hawaiian urban legends just because, like, a lot of the urban legends focus on, like, the gods and, like, their sacred ground. Kind of like how South Dakota, like, it's all sacred ground, like, but with Native Americans, this is, like, with the gods. And I love it. So let's get into it. So the first legend is Pele's curse. Pele is known as the Queen of Lava and Goddess of Fire and Volcano. She is one of the most famous goddesses of Hawaii. Many travelers will show their respects to her, by visiting Halema-Uma'u crater. I might pronounce these wrong, I'm sorry. Many travelers will show their respects to her by visiting Halema-Uma'u crater and will give her offerings like flowers, food, and gin. There is a legend saying if you take lava rocks or sand from the Hawaiian Islands, you will be cursed with bad luck, including death, until the property is returned. People have sent letters along with the lava rocks talking about how their life has been nothing but bad luck since having the items in their possession. Pele is protective of her land and culture. Like, I love that. That's kind of like, I don't know if you've ever heard of the Bell Witch Cave or, like, learned about a lot of the history of it, but they say that if you take, like, you go into the caves and if you take, like, a rock or something from there, you will be, like, possessed with bad luck and shit until you return it. And, that's, like, really common in a lot of places that has, like, sacred ground and stuff. I've noticed that, like, because I believe that, like, everything holds energy, and, like, the ground especially, like, the rocks, the sand, the shells, everything like that holds energy, which is why I like to collect them. I literally have a jar of rocks. I have a jar of dead. I have a jar of dead.
It's kind of funny that people were sending letters like, take it back.
Please take it.
Sorry.
Bad things are happening.
This one is called Pele's Eruptions. Since Pele is a goddess of volcanoes, she is said to know when Mauna Loa will erupt. Many claim to have encountered Pele in physical form before and during the eruption of Mauna Loa. They believe when they see her that it is a warning sign that the volcano will be erupting soon and to be aware. More modern legends say that they will see a small white dog known as Pele's pet high on the slopes of Mauna Loa, where no dog would be able to survive. When he is seen, it is said that the volcano will soon erupt.
I read a book earlier this year about old life in Hawaii, and that they really, really, like, take Pele seriously, and if they see that, they are, like, panicking, because, you know, like, if the volcano erupts, it's gonna take, like, their houses and stuff, like, if it flows towards them. So they were very, not superstitious, but, like, spiritual about it and believing it, which I think is cool. And the next one is one of my favorites. It's the Night Marchers. Night Marchers are said to be the phantom spirits of ancient Hawaiian warriors. A curse was placed upon them that forces them to march the island for all eternity. Some say when they are out marching, they are welcoming a dying relative and conducting them to the underworld. They are said to march in a single file line and carry torches and other weapons. If you are ever out late at night and start to hear distant chanting and drums, you must lie face down on the ground. It is a sign of respect and keeps you protected. If you are to look up at them, they will kill you. So I know that if I ever go to Hawaii and I'm out late at night and I hear that, I am face planting in the dirt. You will not see me look up. I will be scared.
Like me and you both go.
I read something that there was this little girl who was out after dark playing, and she ended up hearing them, and she didn't know what it was, and she felt something literally, like, push her down onto the ground and hold her head face down until they passed. And she didn't know, like when she looked up, no one was there, and she didn't know what it was, and she went home and told her mom, and her mom, like, sat her down and explained to her that it was probably one of her ancestors making sure that she stayed safe.
Okay, the next one is called Waialae Drive-In Theater. In 1959, a legend of a faceless ghost began to circle around Waialae Drive-In Theater. It is known as Obake, Japanese ghost. A young girl goes to the bathroom to freshen up her makeup, and she sees another young woman standing at the mirror combing her long black hair. As the girl approaches the mirror, she catches a reflection of the young woman's face, only to discover that she doesn't have a face. The faceless woman also has no feet or limbs. Some believe the drive-in was haunted by spirits of a nearby cemetery. It is uncommon that these faceless ghost sightings, known as obake, were occurring in Western America because it is Japanese folklore. The drive-in is no longer standing.
So in that book I read, I did find out that a lot of Japanese immigrants immigrated over to Hawaii in the 1800s, in like the late 1800s, I think. So that could potentially explain why there was an obake there, since that is like the Japanese folklore. Which it's the only way that I can like make it make sense in my mind. The next one is Nu'uanu Pali. Pele was married to Kamapua'a, who was a half-man, half-pig demigod. Their marriage did not last long or end on good terms. They agreed to never meet again and divided the island of Oahu in half. It is said that you cannot drive over the Pali Highway after midnight with pork in your car. If you do, your car will stall until you throw the pork out as an offering. Sometimes you will be met with an old woman with a dog sent by Pele herself. You will have to give the pork to the dog. Some believe the reason for not being able to carry pork across is to show Pele that you are on her side against Kamapua'a.
Huh.
I don't eat pork that much.
I just imagine somebody driving across the bridge and their car stalls and they're like, alright, who has the fucking pork rinds? Like,
get them out so I can go home. Because after midnight, don't need to deal with your shit. I wonder if that actually has like legitimately happened. I mean, it has to have legitimately happened at some point, or else they would not be talking about it. What do you think about that?
Buy me a plane ticket to Hawaii, I'll go test it out.
Let's go. So I hope you enjoyed those urban legends. That one, okay, we got through that a lot smoother than the last one, I can say that. But if you want to see us mess up and giggle and just be stupid, head over to Patreon and check out all of our bonus content and blooper reels.
Did you forget what to do with your hands?
Yeah, I did.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
Oh, I about broke my wrist. What would you do if I broke my wrist on camera? Do you think I'd go viral? So like and comment and subscribe if you liked that.
If you liked that. Is that llama?
Oh
no. I don't know what a llama sounds like.
I don't know.
That's a goat.
And we will see you tomorrow. And I hope you're enjoying the 31 days of Halloween. I love how you like stick your hands in bucket.
Because I'm trying to get the contrast of the dark door in my hands. Because
you're white.
Yep. It's a pumpkin. Does it look like a pumpkin?
Bro, she cannot paint a pumpkin.
I tried.
We were on FaceTime one night and she like went into like her whole thought process behind how she was gonna paint this pumpkin.
I could paint a pumpkin like on a canvas. I could paint like an actual pumpkin. But I was trying to paint a rock to look like a pumpkin. I should have just painted a pumpkin, like an actual pumpkin on the rock instead of trying to make the rock into the pumpkin. It didn't work. It didn't look like a pumpkin. It was hilarious. And on that note, we'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Bye.